There we are.
Hello, how are you?
Good. You can hear me.
I can. Can you hear me? Okay, is it all right?
Yes.
I went out and brought a new mic today,
Oh,
just for
wow.
today. Yeah, I know. I splurged. I thought I'm going to do it properly. I've got a proper standing up mic.
Very good.
How are you though? You're all right.
Excellent. Yeah.
Fantastic. I just want to
Actually,
say
that's a
thank you so
lie.
much.
That's a lie.
Oh,
I have a sore throat today. I
oh
don't know. I'm,
no.
I'm fighting something viral.
But yeah, thank you so much, by the way, for
You're
accepting the
welcome.
invitation. I appreciate it a lot. Obviously, with your history of how much you've done, it is absolutely mind blowing. So I really appreciate this.
Well, thank you.
Because obviously this whole podcast is about heroes, about heroic conversations and stuff like that. And obviously you did one of the most iconic heroes, which obviously Goku in
Yes.
the Ocean Dub, which is amazing.
I'll,
I mean,
I'll, I'll try to live up to that reputation.
it is. It is. I saw a clip of you the other day where you did the Kamehameha,
Yes.
and that was just brilliant. And then, I mean, obviously you've done Cheetor, you've done so much of like these big properties, and you know you're part of it, and it's amazing, especially now the fact that you've become part of the Marvel universe. Playing,
Yeah.
I just noticed your shirt. That is brilliant.
Now this is a total fluke. I just got this stupid thing for pickleball. Today was my pickleball day.
Okay.
It's like padel. Do you know what pickleball
Is
is?
it is it like you got like a not golf club but a golf club type guess? Can you smack
Nope.
balls? No. Okay. Go on
No.
then. What's
No.
pickleball?
You know padel, right? No. Okay.
It,
It's a
it,
big.
it's making me think of croquet.
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay. Okay.
It's like pickleball is like tennis and ping pong with a wiffle ball. I think the ball came from um, baseball practice.
Okay.
It's a very lightweight ball. It's very big in North America. Very big. Like it's the fastest growing sport of all. Anyway, it plays very much like tennis. It's outdoors. Well, it could be indoors too, but there's a net, singles or doubles, but it's about half the size of tennis. And you
Okay.
play with this plastic ball with a bunch of holes in it. So no matter how hard you hit it, I mean, it's only going to go so fast
Yeah.
and so hard. Anyway, pickleball is very big. And I got this shirt because I went, I need a new like sweating shirt. And
Yeah.
I didn't change. So there you go. Thanks for noticing.
It's no, it's just I like the fact that you said about Dragon Ball Z and you like tried to live up to that expectation. You got a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt like shirt.
I
That's
know.
brilliant.
I know. It looks
I've
like pandering.
I've got a Mr. Fantastic. I've got the
Hmm.
Fantastic Four on. I thought I'd
Nice.
rep the character. I don't have any bats merchandise. That was
Okay.
one that came out the blue. That was
I
brilliant.
know.
That was a nice little reveal.
Doc reads me the Daily Bugle. That Jonah Jameson jerk has got it all wrong about you, kid.
So, the reason, okay, here's how I learned that I was Bats, the
Hmm.
dog. Um, Obviously I did it, but I forgot. I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And just to backtrack a little bit on the Mr. Fantastic stuff. So when I got cast for the game, it's all shrouded in secrecy. They don't tell you anything. They don't tell you what the project is. They don't say this is a Marvel game, so raise your game. Um, I I get the part, and they go, "Hey, you're okay. You got this thing, and it's code named something, right?" I get in there, and because I'm terrible. I don't pay attention to anything outside of what I'm reading. And I didn't really even ask, like, what's the project? What is this? I just went in and started reading my lines. I'm not even sure. Uh, I may be lying here, but I don't even think they said Mr. Fantastic in the script. It was
Oh, that's
just
brilliant.
some other name. So I'm doing all these lines, and it wasn't until maybe the third session that I went, oh, he's from the Fantastic Four, because they had some of the animation done already at this point.
Yeah.
The light bulb came on. So I'm giving myself a pass. They may have said Mr. Fantastic and it just didn't hit me. I don't know. Anyway, so I did that. And then as we go along, you record some additional, hey, we got another little character here for you.
Mm.
So it's not like it really stuck in my mind, and
Right.
clearly I've demonstrated my mind is, addled anyway. Um, and just, I guess it was Friday. I get auditions every day from
Mm.
my agents, and I go, okay, well, I'll record that thing Monday, and I look at it, I go, dog, oh, bats, ghost dog. Oh, this one did say Marvel. Okay, well, let me look it up, because if the character already exists,
Yeah.
they're gonna want something kind of similar to
Yeah.
whoever did it before. I mean, maybe they want something different, maybe they don't. If you realize you're gonna read for a new Thor character, it should kind of be in the Thor world,
The
right?
the embodiment of that powerful kind of Norse god
Exactly.
voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I go to YouTube and I go, bats, Marvel, dog, voice, da, 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 da. And I didn't have my headphones on
Mm.
yet, because this is where I record all my stuff. And it starts playing, and I hear it sort of like from where I had my headphones hanging, which is down there. And I go, okay, oh well, that's all right. That sounds kind of like Jimmy Stewart, kind of like, and then I put the video was short. It was like 30 seconds long. Let me replay that. And I put my headphones on. Jesus Christ, that's me. There and wait a second. How did the producers forget that I did the voice, and they're sending it out to agents? Like, do you not want me? Like, I don't know. So anyway,
That's
we'll find
brilliant
out
though.
very shortly if they want me to do whatever this next project is or not. They hated me.
That's fantastic. I see. That's brilliant because obviously, if you've been given a script and you've just got these lines, now you obviously there is a differentiation between Bat's voice and Mister Fantastic's voice.
Yeah,
So you can hear it, and then as soon as you post that video, I had a look at it and I was like, yeah, no, now that I can hear it, I
yeah.
can I can hear the voice. And I'm like, that's really weird. That no, because I don't think many people have picked up on that.
No.
So there was a big thing because I recently found out, obviously, the Invisible Woman, Susie Young, um, she's Herbie in the game.
Oh.
So she voices the Invisible Woman and Herbie.
Oh, okay.
So when yeah, I see it's so maybe it's just a Fantastic Four thing. Maybe we should listen to if the Human Torch or the Thing have got any side
Oh,
characters going on.
maybe, because they do that's quite common. If there's just something short,
Mm,
hey, so and so's coming in, we're gonna get them to do it. Stuff like that. I mean, that happens a lot. But um, that's the other weird thing about games, and so much of animation now, is you really don't see your colleagues. Like, you go in and you're alone, and with
yeah.
the engineer or the director. So I don't know. I didn't know anyone that was in the game. And then as far as I can tell, I don't think there's credits in the game, is there? Or do you have to go search for
Oh,
it?
I actually don't know. I think it might be like there might be like a settings bar and like
Yeah,
you can
maybe.
view credits and it'll come up with everyone. But obviously
Oh,
because they add characters like quite often now,
yeah.
it might be that they have when they do the updates, they might I'm gonna have to have a look to see if there's a credits thing because that'd be quite interesting to look at because then you'll be able to see if people are voicing double people
Yeah.
or not.
So there
So
was
yeah.
someone that as I went into this bats rabbit hole, someone knew it was me, because it
Mm,
was. Then I went and looked, and I wonder if there's like a credit listing or whatever. So I got my son and another, like, this kid that, um a family friend that we know, like, he's
mm.
super into the game, and he goes, no, I knew it was you immediately. And I said, well, hey, is there credits? Like, can you go look? And I didn't never heard anything back, but obviously, either through a credit or through someone's ears, like, my name came up beside bats on one of these,
Yeah.
and those Marvel.
It's kind of someone made the link of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because when I watched the trailer for Mr. Fantastic and he had the voice lines, it was very much like I recognize that voice. There's that there's obviously you are in the character in a sense, so your
Yeah.
voice is in it. And I remember straight away as soon as I heard it, I was like, right, okay. I mean, I went into a group chat with my friends. I was like, right, okay, I need to use my detective work here to figure out who this is. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's you.
Yeah.
And it was that, like, kind of, I put those pieces together, and I remember going to Reddit, and there's only a few people that, because obviously as soon as there's a character leaked, people are trying to figure out who the voice was. I remember when the Human Torch was released, the trailer for him, a lot of people were thinking about Roger Craig Smith and stuff like that, so like Sonic. And there's, you can see that, and it's quite a nice community time where people are trying to figure
Yeah.
out who the voices behind these characters are, because obviously within animated games you don't have face models. It's the character and the voice, whereas like, I don't know, more like Call of Duty and stuff, where they do the face mapping with the mocap, you can
Yeah.
kind of figure out who the actor is. But yeah, it's like a nice little scramble. It brings a lot of people together. But I remember figuring out it was you, and I was like, okay, now I need to wait for confirmation. But yeah, and
Well,
it was
and that's a
brilliant.
whole other thing. They lock you down like seriously,
Mm.
especially with Marvel stuff. You can't say a word about anything until you get the green light. And the trailer came out, and I went, well, uh, obviously it's me. And yet I still had to wait for their, okay, now you can say
Now you can
what
be
you,
like, look, it's me. I am Mr. Fantastic. Because
yeah.
obviously, yeah. See, that's quite crazy to think about, the fact that even when people have gone, well, I know who that is, that you can't
Yeah.
go, it is me. Because obviously, if you do that, obviously, then Marvel will come get you.
Well, they probably wouldn't, but it's protocol, right? Like,
Yeah, it's the
if it's out
professionalism of
there,
the
it's out
job. Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird little quirk of the business.
So so one question that I do want to ask is, you said about working solo in like a booth. You got the director and the engineer.
Yeah.
Um, the authenticity of the conversations are very apparent in the game. So when you have two characters speaking, it sounds like they're having, like what we're having right now. There's this,
Yeah.
and I think that's brilliant. Obviously, that's the art, and that's the process of it. But obviously, there's bits where obviously Mr. Fantastic speaking to Invisible Woman, or Mr. Fantastic saying a harsh word to Namor, and stuff like this. And you've got that natural flow of conversation, which I think's fantastic. I keep saying
Yeah.
fantastic. I got to stop doing
Very
that.
good.
But yeah,
Well,
it's brilliant.
that really comes down to the director
Hmm.
because he or she is the person who needs to go, okay, I know exactly what's happening in this scene. I've already got that actor doing it this way. And it's interesting, the voice director on this particular project doesn't do a ton of takes.
Mm.
So he really knows exactly, how far away the other character is. And I know they move around a little bit, but um it's that what you are marveling at, pardon the pun,
There you
um,
go.
is all down to the director.
Mm.
It's not about well, I mean, obviously we say the lines, but it's him who really knows where and how to kind of sew those scenes together from
Yeah,
disparate parts.
I think that's fantastic. From that question, what's one of your favorite lines that you did for Mr. Fantastic, or Bats, or both?
Uh the I always go with, I wish I remembered some Bats lines. Like none. I don't. Okay, first of all, something you should know about me is
Okay.
I don't remember anything. Like you actually touched on mocap for certain games.
Mm.
When I see mocap, I just go pass, because you are memorizing lines and you're acting and you're on
Mm.
a big soundstage, but this is a really old American TV reference, but homie, don't play that. I just I just don't. When I got into voice acting, it was like, okay, this absolutely suits me to a T, because people say, oh no, don't say you can't. But anyway, I'm going to say it. I can't remember lines to save my life.
So having
So,
them in front of you and performing them
oh
is a
yeah.
lot easier.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, like, I mean, I can read like a son of a like cold read,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what this is. It's it, some people have the skill. It's like sight reading in music, right? Like some people can sit down And they go, "Where's the music?" Okay, there it is. And they go, and it's like, wow, it's 90% there.
It's
So
just stored in there.
it's a similar skill to that. So anyway, and I can make words on a page sound like a conversation. That's
Yeah.
a gift or whatever. Patting myself on the back here.
No, you definitely should. You definitely
So-
should.
So the point is, remembering, famous lines or favorite lines. It's like, oh my God. I don't remember them when I leave the booth. Like I will leave this booth here. This morning I was doing a commercial.
Mm.
Is this a good example? No, this isn't a good example. But I have left this very booth, and which is in my house, and I'll see my wife half an hour later or something. She go, "Oh, how did it go?" And I went, "Oh, it was great. What was the commercial for?" Much less remember lines from it. So I, I don't know. It's like I'm a Commodore 64 computer that just has to flush memory as soon as I use it because I have to do something else with it. So anyway, to answer your question, I'm going to keep it really simple. I love characters that have like a catchphrase that is short as possible. So for Mr. Fantastic, it's really easy. Fantastic. There it is.
That is the, I think when people think of Mr. Fantastic and Marvel Rivals, that ultimate line is definitely, because it's just big and it's loud.
Yeah.
And it's just, that is the line. Yeah, no, that is very much an iconic line, I think, because it definitely embodies him as a character as well, because it kind of, that's his, Mr. Fantastic is going to shout fantastic.
Yep.
I won't ask you any more voice line questions.
I'll still answer them. I'll fumble through, but I can answer them. Like, okay, for example, another really easy one for me. Like, I do convention appearances, and one of the ones that like I've got all these prints that I can sign, and people really know Johnny Test, the series.
I know what you're.
That's another one. It's really easy. Johnny.
There you go.
Johnny. One word.
And then I'll add. It's a good word.
We're having meatloaf. So I can remember stuff like that.
There's one that I think is very Preston then, if it's remembering very simple phrases, and I feel like it's coming towards that segue because it's on your shirt.
Oh,
I feel like I'd punch myself if I didn't ask.
Well, okay, I've got two.
I'm excited here.
but again, it's simple, tidy, easy. So the first one is, "Yo, it's me, Goku." There's
that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
And then the other one is, the classic, Kamehameha. You know the rest.
Ha!
Yeah, there you go.
Big boom. I had to. Sorry, I felt like if I didn't continue that, it would have kept me awake at night.
I left it for you.
I appreciate that. That was brilliant. See, I'm trying not to say fantastic as much.
That's really good.
So, okay, so when it came to voicing Mr. Fantastic, as you've said, you bring those words to life. You have that creative process of bringing those words to life. I personally, as you know, I've obviously got Mr. Fantastic Jumper on. I have all the comics. I've read the history of the character.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, no, I love Mr. Fantastic. He's been a character that I've kind of grown up with, from like 2005 films to comic books. When I started growing up, finding the comic books, reading them, finding these stories. Was there any influence from other elements of pop culture for the character for you?
No.
And that's fine. That's
terrible,
fine.
Terrible interviewee. But here's the reality of these characters is you audition and you roll the dice and go, okay, you get the description without knowing who it is. And, he's roughly between the ages of 30 and 50. Yeah, that's a big, big.
That's a quite
Yeah.
big age gap. Yeah,
Yeah. But,
that's quite a
we
jump.
see a lot of that. See a lot of that. And, he's a leader, he's mature, but he's this and he's that, and he's smart. And I just, take out the old voice dart, bing, and take my best shot. And when you show up, that's it. Like, hey, you got cast because we liked your audition. Okay,
We
what did
liked
I
your
do
voice,
again?
yeah.
And then they play it back, and you go, oh yeah, 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 that guy. And again, like the characters like Mr. Fantastic, even Goku, for goodness sakes, they're they essentially sound like me.
Yeah.
And they're just squeezes and tweaks. Oh, I just popped my mic. Like from Hugh Test to Goku to Mr. Fantastic, for example.
Mhm.
Like Hugh Test is elevated me. It's like, hey, come on now, come on, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And Goku is like heroic me, with a bit of goofy stuff in there too. And then Mr. Fantastic is a little bit more my actual age, and it's more serious me.
Mm.
Like those are characters that I always just go, wow, you hired me for that. It just sounds like me. The ones I love, not that I don't love those characters, but I'm
Yeah.
always surprised. Is like ca- characters like, for instance, Mr. Conductor from Dinosaur Train.
Yes, with the song.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, those are the characters I just love doing. Actually, and in fact, that is my favorite character
I love
that I've
that.
is Mr. Conductor, because he's
Mr.
all over the
Conductor.
place. He's a little bit of Don Knotts, and I can really hide under the character and come on along with me on the dinosaur train. Like, I love doing those.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, you sound kind of like you. I get, oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, if it helps with feeling like you've made like an iconic voice for Mr. Fantastic. Obviously when I used to read the comics, it used to be a voice I used to make up in my head, and now play Marvel Rivals with your voice.
Yeah.
Your voice is the voice that I read those words
Really?
as. Yeah. So if
Wow.
yeah, so I know obviously there might be other people that do that in the world. You know, people that have played the game, heard the voice, and gone, "That's the voice I'm going to connect to." Because to be fair, the Fantastic Four haven't had a massive limelight. They're becoming more popular.
Yeah. And
Obviously, with
there's
the
a movie coming out, right?
movie coming out in
Yeah.
July. Yeah, that's Pedro Pascal.
And is he playing Mr. Fantastic?
Pedro Pascal is playing Mr. Fantastic,
Okay. So
which a
when I
lot of
bump
people
into
thought.
him, I always plan these things out in my head. When I bump into Pascal,
Just
I'll say,
shout
"Hey,
"fantastic" at him.
yeah, we played the same guy." Actually, now that this shows you how tiny and what kind of ego I have. I went to the Palm Springs Film Festival,
Hmm.
which is a really good event. Like it's like a mini Oscars, but
Yeah.
like big stars come. Timothy Chalamet was there. The whole cast from Conclave was there. It
Oh
was like
wow.
a big deal. So we're at this dinner, and stupid me, I forgot. Like this belies what I just said. Like, oh, I have these plans when I meet, bump into people that I might have worked with.
Yeah.
It didn't actually work with, but like, hey, I was in that film, but you only heard me,
Yeah.
Um, and there was a film that came out a couple of years ago called Being the Ricardos. I don't know if you remember that, but
No. No.
it was Nicole Kidman
Hmm.
and Javier Bardem. I think you pronounce it that
Oh
way.
wow.
And they were playing Desi and Lucy from the Lucy Show.
Hmm.
And she goes gliding by me, and wow, she is stunning. And as she's gone by, I went, oh my God, I was in, like, I played, I'm not overstating this. I played the pivotal role in that whole movie, and I know you're not familiar with it, but I'll
I'll
tell you
have
what
to. I'll have to go and check it out.
the story was. Lucille Ball was branded as a communist in the McCarthy era. So the whole movie is about this strife on the set and in their marriage about this thing that she had said, and someone had signed at one point when she was young, because I think it had something to do with her father, a Communist Party card, but not really, and all of this stuff. So anyway, spoiler alert. Um, the head of so they're about to tape an episode, and the things are reaching a crisis point. Lucy doesn't know what if her career is going to survive this, because McCarthy was such an a-hole. And so Desi, Javier, goes out, and there's the audience is there ready to watch a taping of the Lucy show. And he goes, I just want to address everything that's been in the papers. Like, my wife is devastated, and I've got some news for you. And he goes, here, give me the phone. And someone brings out a telephone, wired. And he's got J. Edgar Hoover on the line.
Okay.
And I'm J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay.
So he goes, hey, I'm standing here in front of the audience, and I understand that you've got some clarification on this whole communist thing. And I say something like, no, Lucy was never a communist, and she's been cleared of, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm who am I speaking to? J. Edgar Hoover. And the crowd gasps like, what? So it's not an overstatement to say that this was the pivotal line in the movie.
It was the big reveal in the
exactly.
movie. Yeah.
And I lost my opportunity because she glided past me. And I went, I could have had a great little 30-second chat with her about that. And then you didn't ask this question, but I'm making
it's fine. What's this for?
And then the movie comes out, and I go, okay, this is great. Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that big a point in the movie. And then I'm watching to the end to see the credits, because I like to take a screenshot and post it, the usual stuff. I didn't get credited for it. There was a credit for J. Edgar Hoover, and it was a guy on the set who stood in. And there has been for 2 years this huge thing with SAG, the union, and me going, here's my contract. I got it's me. And
this is me doing that. That is
me like, what are you gonna do about that? And they go, oh well, their first answer was, oh, nothing. Really, you're not gonna do anything about that? Well, blah 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 blah. And then on projects like that, you're supposed to get residuals, royalty for projects that are especially big ones.
Yeah.
And I talked to my accountant. What have we sent? Like, I know I got paid for the initial session. Have I received anything in residuals? Oh, let me look it up. No.
Oh.
Okay. So now I go back to so it's literally in process right now.
Yeah.
Where they went, oh, this has been a big mistake. And actually, when you first contacted us about the credit, whoever was looking after that department really didn't do a very good job. We're very sorry.
Oh,
so the union's involved, and
well, I hope they get sorted for you, because that's a big thing.
Yeah. So
it's a credit to your name.
Yeah, I mean that's what we live on, right? Like there's my body. Well, prove it. Oh, you didn't do that. Well, yeah, I don't have time to tell everyone this story. So that's that.
Well, I appreciate the sharing of the story.
Yeah,
that sounds just messy, to be honest.
It is.
That sounds really messy. That sounds.
I want to deal with it.
Yeah, that sounds just irritating. To be honest. And again, backtracking to when I asked about the influences, it was really nice the fact that you just said no, because that's what this is about. This is about a conversation. There's no, it's nice to have the transparency. You haven't just made it up on the spot going, well, I read the 1960 comic when it came out, and I did this and that.
and I'll tell you, the bugaboo I have, when I started really voice acting as a career, I used to enjoy watching late night talk shows and, seeing all the actors being interviewed and everything.
Yeah.
And I stopped enjoying them because I went, these actors are just like, they're so full of shit. Well, and you go, wait a second. The the actor, while not like diminishing our importance,
Hmm.
but you are like the last step in a very long process.
Yeah.
And especially when you're talking about feature films, read the lines. The director will tell you what to do. And, I mean, if you're a mega star and you've got some sort of clout and input into the actual production,
Yeah.
you are literally just read your lines, do a good job, and I don't care what you I got this influence and that influence and then no, you didn't. No, you just got out there and did. Anyways, but I'm being a grumpy old man.
Oh no, no. You're being honest, and I think
I am
that's
being honest.
important. Being honest is important because I'd rather you be honest than stand there and just say random things.
Now,
And it's nicer.
having said that, there are times when an actor is just really, really excited to do a role
Yeah.
because they've got background, because they've, like yourself, like you've read every Fantastic Four, and like it's a really big thing, and they go, "Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm up for this." Now I'm very excited.
Hmm.
So there are a few things like I would love, and it has not happened in a big way. It happened in a very small way, but it has not happened in a big way yet. That on my list of stuff that I want to voice is an attraction or a ride at Disneyland.
Well, I mean, you are the voice of Mr. Fantastic in Marvel Rivals.
So maybe.
Should we start a petition for
Yes.
a Fantastic Four ride?
Yes.
And then you could voice Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
Get the whole gang.
You know what happens? You know what happens? Similar to this bat story that I started with. Is they go, yeah, okay, we're going to do this new project, and let's go cast for Mr. Fantastic. I'm right here. Like I've actually received. Back in Vancouver, I received. Oh no, was this in Vancouver? It doesn't matter where it is. I got it's called a breakdown. You get a side, and it's an audition. It tells you about the character. Da, da, da. And we're looking for an Ian Corlett type.
Okay.
Well, I'm available. I'm not elusive.
Call me.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, not just the type, you can get the actual. So that is, I mean, I took it as a huge compliment.
Mm.
And I didn't book it. Crazy. Crazy.
It said, we want this. I am here. Yeah, but no.
It just doesn't get through the filter somehow. So anyway, my hopes of I should think more positively. Yes, Disneyland or Disney Epcot or wherever, they should do a Fantastic Four ride. And yes, of course, they'll find me and we'll do. No, they'll use.
It would be brilliant.
They'll use Pedro.
But wouldn't it be great if they had?
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be? Yeah.
I mean, okay, right. So obviously, I'm going to speak about comics now.
Yeah.
There is a multiverse of Reeds. So because he's so smart, which is obviously his hubris a lot in the comics, there's a council of Reeds, of loads of different Reeds around the multiverse. It's something that is just apparent. Would you be interested if it became a thing? You said about obviously physical acting is not like a no-go, but just maybe a cameo or something, just with the voice, and they made you look like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
and there you are standing next to like Pedro, Marcus Teller, Ian Grufford. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And then the four of you, boom, Counselor Reeds.
That'd be great. No, I'd never say no.
Because you're up there now. You are Mr. Fantastic.
I'd be nuts to say no to that. Of course not.
I personally would love to see that. That would be fantastic.
You said it again.
I feel like someone's going to make an edit. Actually, I'm going to make an edit of me and how many times we've said fantastic.
You should.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic's there. So I mean, so one of my dream roles would be a superhero. I'd love to voice a superhero. I'd love to voice a superhero in Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
Do you have any advice on how to get your foot in the door about becoming a voice actor?
That's a great question. The reality is, in today's world, the internet has been a very much a two-edged sword. Because now everyone who's even remotely interested knows what a voice actor is, knows who all the voice actors are. And when I was young and starting out, I remember introducing myself to, older people or someone that I have not met. And I was, what do you do? I'm a voice actor. What's that? And you had to explain it. When you're watching TV and you hear a commercial or, that voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or cartoons. Well, yeah, I guess. So, I mean, we're a million years from that. So, so as I said, it cuts both ways, right? So with that understanding that it is a career choice, in contrast to when I was young, like I would this, I mean, VHS tapes were around by, the time that I was starting, but it was still pretty new. And I remember as a kid, so pre any kind of recording ability at home, like I would watch, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner, and I'd watch the credits. I go, who was that? Everyone knew that was one constant. Everyone knew who Mel Blanc was, but anyone else, they didn't. So today, because there's so many people that understand and know and go, hey, I might want to do that, it means it's like extra, 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 extra hard to cut through. So, like with anything, any skill, just get really, really good at it. And, don't, I caution people not to get into those educational loops where you're just constantly taking a class, which it's a dangerous answer because you should want to improve and take those classes, but it's the loop that is the worry, because it's like being a perpetual student. We know what that is. So, taking classes is a way to get better. It's a way to practice. You get new copy and you can try things. And then just make the best demo you can and do a bunch of stuff that doesn't even pay. If you have friends that are making YouTube videos or whatever, hey, I'll do that. Yeah. Let me do it. Let me do it. Just for experience, which is, again, that's a terrible thing because if you're in the arts, everyone expects you to do stuff for free. Oh, you're just starting out. It's good for your reel, and we've all probably seen the cartoons, like drawn panel cartoons with, would you walk into a lawyer and go, hey, do this for free? It's good for your resume. No, you wouldn't. But the arts is a little different. You have to you do have to do a little bit of that stuff. I mean, if you're a musician, you might go busking. That's free until you get some money, right?
Yep.
So my advice is like, do it. Just keep doing it. Find any way to do it. And then no, you don't need an agent because there are these services like Voices123, voices.com. They don't pay very well. It's like Fiverr kind of stuff, right? But you can be slugging it out and, grab some work.
Yeah.
So there's my advice. I know that was really kind of mushy, but
Oh no, that was
um,
some solid advice.
it's entry level. I mean, that's entry level stuff, and just get good at it. So, and again, it's a cliche to say, "Oh, the cream always finds a way to reach the top." No, that's not necessarily true. Again, here's my honesty coming out,
No,
because I know a lot of
again,
people who are
appreciate the honesty.
super talented, and they're wallowing in obscurity.
Mm,
How is it that luck has a lot to do with it? Now,
mm.
this I do believe. I believe in luck, not like in some, airy fairy.
Universal way, yeah.
No, I believe that, right place, right time, opportunity, be ready. That to me is luck.
Yeah,
And you can make your own luck a little bit by just making sure that you always are out there. Like,
yeah.
be around, be around. Sitting in your basement manifesting, man, I'm grumpy. Is just like, it's not going to work. Like,
Mm.
I'm visualizing, I read the law of attraction, and I'm visualizing I'm going to manifest a career. No, you got to get out of your basement and go do something. Anyway, there's my tips.
I like that one. I want that to be the clip. Get out of your basement and go and do something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What I'd love to do is have the Fantastic Four. I'd love to get Susie, Scott, and Andrew. I'd love to have the four of you and have a conversation with the four. My plan is what I'd like to do with, obviously, I'm a massive fan of the Fantastic Four, as you
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do, like, individual ones and then go, here's all four of them.
Yeah.
Here's all
That'd
four
be
of them.
great.
The
And
five
then,
of us having a conversation.
and then all of them can answer all the stuff that I don't. I don't know anything about anything.
Unless they're the same.
It's
So
possible, but I think I'm a little slightly unique in that way.
but I think it's good though. It's a different take. You have voice actors that have done studying into the actor, into the character.
Yeah.
And they've read and they've read and they've read and they've understood them. Whereas, I mean, both yours is authentic. That is you just embodying that character from the words. That's your creative process. That's how you get to that destination.
That's the way I do it.
And I
Yeah.
think that's you.
Everyone's got their own deal. Like, and
Yeah.
I never subscribe. Like, I've taken lots of classes, by the way. When I'm relocated to LA in late 2015, 2016, I decided I'm going to treat this like a rebirth, where voice actors are not famous. Like, they just aren't. Maybe well known in some circles, but like, I'm going to walk in to that city and go, I'm going to take the classes and I'm going to take the workshops and I'm going to do, and I did because I just wanted to take a humble pill and go, let's see, let's do it. And a colleague of mine said, I'm borrowing this quote. There are some classes that go, this is the way to do it. There's, this is the way. This is the way. Follow this. And I'm such a curmudgeon. It's like, nah, I don't think so. And this colleague said, the way you should view it is like, you've got a toolbox and you go to these classes and what you're doing is collecting a piece. Like, oh, there's a wrench I don't have. Put that in your toolbox. And that's why you take the classes. But don't ever think like, this is the system. This is the way to do it. Because if I did a class which I don't do, I do workshops, very specific ones that I don't charge for, that are at the SAG union. It's the only things I do like that. It's a personal philosophy, but anyway, if I did a work like a class and said, here's how I do it and you should too, people would be really disappointed, because I don't I don't do a lot of that immersion stuff. Like who is this character? What is it? I go because I started in commercials. Actually,
Yeah.
started further back as a filmmaker. But anyway, as voice actor, I started in commercials, and it was all about these are the words. What is the point?
Yeah.
And am I a real person or am I like an announcer telling you something?
Yeah.
From that formed my whole way of my process,
Of
I guess.
acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I look at a side that comes in, and very often you don't get a picture or an image anymore, and I go, okay, they're describing it this way. Okay, well, you know what? They know exactly what they want in this one. I read another one. Ooh, they don't know what they want. Okay, well then I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
what you want, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like what I don't need to know a lot about it. And the other thing is, like I did with this stupid bats the dog. Like I'll go and see. Okay, did it exist somewhere else?
Yeah.
Let me get in the ballpark of that, and that is pure technique, like ears to what comes out here,
Yeah.
not anything more than that. Like I get the ballpark. So I'm very nuts and bolts that way. I'm not very, you may have gathered, I'm not very airy fairy about it. So anyway, different strokes for different folks. And I say, I think I probably did answer your question, but take lots of classes. Don't get into that feeling of like, this is the way.
Mm.
Lots of ways to get to a career.
That's fantastic. I said it again. I'm gonna do a counter. I'm gonna have to do a counter.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to do a counter, and it's just gonna have
I
every
look
time I
forward to
do it,
that.
I'm gonna have Mr. Fantastic bounce. That's what I'm gonna have.
Okay.
It's like a count, like he's smashing into the
Yeah.
floor, counting
Yeah.
each one.
Good.
You know what? I'll tell you what. How many times do you think I've said the word fantastic, including that one? Actually, no. Let me change it. How many times do you think we've said fantastic, including that one again? So that's two.
I don't think it's as much as you think it is. I'm going to say 18.
18. Okay. I'm gonna go with 23.
Okay.
23. There you go. I think that's a
You want to lay money on this? I just got back from Vegas. I'm
um
gambling head.
ooh, I've just started a podcast. I just brought a new mic.
Yeah, no. There's nothing riding it. It's just bragging rights.
Bragging rights indeed. Once it's posted, I'll count it and then you can go, ha.
Okay.
Whoever's closest. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Whoever's closest.
Well, I know you'll keep me posted when you post this,
Yeah,
and
indeed.
I look forward to it.
Obviously, I'm more than happy that in the future, if you'd want to come back, that would be brilliant.
Well,
I had to stop myself.
Very good. I'd be happy to. Don't get just a little bit of Ian goes a long way. But I'd be happy to.
I appreciate it.
If you can pull that the group thing together,
that would be ace.
Strikes me as you may have the will and gumption to be able to do that.
I'd love to round up everyone and have the four, because I think people will like that as well, because that'd be the faces of the current Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
because
don't do that. People are always disappointed. I do these convention appearances, and people look at me and they go, "What? You did that?" Like, I've got this list of stuff that I signed, and they look at me and they look at that, and look at me. I go, "Okay, look at the big poster up here, Goku. Don't look at me." And then I'll go, "Yo, I'm Goku," and that stuff.
And I go, "Wow.
Oh, okay."
It's like that's what you do for a living.
Yeah. So just don't. Yeah, the faces of the.
No, because you are
the old expression, right?
The voices
it's a face made for radio.
I've heard that one a lot. But
So,
you know
it's
what?
not always true, but it's just people are easily confused. Him? No.
Well, you know what? You're the voices of the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
There you go. You are the four of you, the voices. And
I knew what you meant. I was just being an asshole.
I hope we meet again and have the other three. But yes, right. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I really
best of luck
appreciate
with
it.
everything.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.